Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order and roll call with the exception of Mitch, who sent regards. He's not on, is he? Okay. Regrets? Anyone having to declare a conflict of interest? Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it. Ready for the question?
Question.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the April 15th minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes from April 15th, 2025.
I'll second it. Ready for the question?
Question.
All in favor?
Aye.
Business arising from the minutes. Hearing none? Could I have the chief's report, please?
Sure. For the month of ending April 30th, Western Police responded to 140 calls for service. It was a little bit down from the previous month. From that, I'll go through the calls. Criminal investigations, 3 assaults, still ongoing investigations on all 3 of them. 3 breach of the peace calls, all 3 of those cleared. 1 breaking and entering the residence, no investigation. Uncontrolled Drugs and Substances Act, cleared. Criminal harassment. 2 disturbing the peace, 1 disturbing the peace, 2 failed to comply with an order, 2 mischief calls, which is damage to property, 3 no pursuit involved like from police, 1 impaired, with alcohol, 2 theft under $5,000, 1 sex offender information registration act compliance check, 10 suspicious persons, 1 theft of gas, 1 trespass at night, and 2 uttering threats against a person. For traffic investigations, there were 3 checkpoints conducted during the month of April involving Stellarton and Westville Police. 13 motor vehicle acts, other activities. Moving traffic intersection related violation 2. Moving traffic speeding 40. Other moving traffic violations 1. Provincial Stats 1911 Act, 1 Child Youth Family Services Act, 2 Family Law Act, 8 Mental Health Act calls, all cleared. 1 other provincial violation. Municipal, 2 bylaws involving dogs. There's still open investigations. 1 involving another, it's a municipal bylaw, and 5 municipal bylaws traffic. And other calls for service, we have 5 assistants to the general public, 5 assistants to other police agency, 1 assistant to provincial agency, 1 assistant to the RCMP, 1 crime prevention call, 1 false alarm, 2 lost and found, 1 missing person reported, property check, 2 well-beings, and 27 info checks. The charges for the month, 7 assault charges, 1 forcible confinement, which is related to 1 of the assault charges, 1 mischief under $5,000, which is again related to the same call. Charge for mischief, which is enjoyment of property. Uttering threats, charge. There's an impaired driver there, so it's operation over 80 milligrams. Distributing cannabis to an underage person, 1 charge there. Failing to comply with the release order, 1. Failing to stop at a stop sign, 2. Failing to obey traffic sign, 34. Speeding, 3. That's 1 to 15. Register on failed to provide name on the motor vehicle act, 1 charge for that. Failing to display current year, that's for license plate, that's 1 charge for that. And there's 1 speeding charge over 31 kilometers an hour. 1 driving motor vehicle without insurance, and 1 operating an unregistered vehicle. There is a traffic summary report attached to your package. I believe it says Acadia on it. It's not Acadia. It's labeled that, but the sign's actually on Temperance Street.
Oh, naturally.
Right, Sean, Temperance?
That's right, yeah.
It's on
Yeah, right,
Temperance.
Sean.
These are not Acadia numbers, these are Temperance Street numbers. Just at a quick glance, you can see there is a little bit of speeding on Temperate Street.
Yeah.
So that'll be the focus going forward.
Yeah. We flipped the sign around this time too, so it's on the straight stretch going down. 1,380 violations, if I'm reading that correctly. That's for in a 2-week period.
The average speeds are 45, 45. So if you look towards the back, there's a count like speed bibs, but the bibs are like 30 to 31, et cetera. There's 450, 163, 51, 162, 52, 131, 53, 132. So
Yeah.
there's where you get those numbers.
Yeah.
57, 58, 152 cars. Going right up.
I find it interesting in the statistics summary report, the total vehicle count was 5,122, 1,380 speed violations. That makes 30% of the vehicles in that 2-week period were speeding. That's
It's a lot.
Thankfully.
You want a stop sign up, huh?
67, 68, there's only a handful higher than that, but still,
Yeah.
if there's a 89, 90,
that's
it's
cooking.
pretty quick for any street going on Temperate. Yes, that will be a focus going forward. That's the report.
So is the speed sign on Acadia Avenue going out to Temperance or the other way around?
It was on, right on Temperance.
Usually have it right in front of my
Coming into
house,
Acadia.
going towards Acadia.
Yeah, okay.
Because we share the sign, I asked to have it on Acadia Street, at the end, in Stellington, at the top there, on Old Foxbrook Avenue, there's a sign there, but they must have mixed it up and just put it on Temperance. So the sign was programmed for Acadia, that's why it says it, but it was never actually on Acadia Street.
Well, Temperance goes right through to Acadia Avenue. That's what I was wondering,
Yeah,
which way they were going, which way they were going.
Close to the river.
Right in front of my house, yeah.
Any questions for the chief on his report?
I see there's 40 for removing traffic speeding or whatever. Where's the majority of them being caught at?
So I had a quick look today through the motor vehicle act calls, and it appeared the large majority was Cowan Street. So I think that's where they were set up.
Surprised.
At the time, there was a few on the main street, there was Drummond, Foxbrook. The vast majority were Cowan Street.
Is that right? Yeah, I'm still seeing high speeds down my way. Yeah, I don't know, we could take that sign and, like I say, flip it going when you're going out of town, right? Yeah.
Out of town, not into town?
Yes, yeah, that's where you see the most speed going on is right there, yeah. And we put there's new double lines there, but it doesn't seem to fizz them from passing in front of the house, right? Like, and that's scary, that little section there, right? Like,
You pass in the double yellow line?
oh yeah, that's pretty common, yep. Yep. And the cars are usually quite loud that's doing it,
Yeah.
so,
Well, we've had a fairly decent dedication to traffic this
Mhm.
that month for sure.
yeah.
And this month it has continued, but I think, excuse me, his main focus has been on Cowan Street.
Mhm.
We can move around a little bit.
Okay.
You'll see the results next month, so.
Yeah, because some of the neighbors said that just going out of their driveway, they look down, they look up, and there's no one, and then they pull out, and then they're beating the horn because they're right on their bumper, right?
What street's that?
On Drummond Road.
Drummond
Yeah.
Road, yeah.
Yeah. There's just not enough time in that space, right?
Mhm.
I know at least one of those tickets was drawn from, I don't know how many more than that, but I remember seeing from for sure.
Okay.
One's not, probably not good probably, but,
Yeah,
we'll get a refocus to something already.
great, thank you.
Might be a silly question. These bicycles that have the little motors on them, they're supposed to have a helmet on?
Yeah, if they're on a bike, yeah. Doesn't matter if
And-
there's a motor or not, but,
Do the traffic stop signs and whatever?
yeah.
They're not. We have a lot of them on our road. They go over to your place. Your area anyways, where they sound like they're going constantly. And they're noisy. Really noisy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do they sound like a whippersnapper, but it's a bike?
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
bike and
Yeah.
like I said, he comes up Spring Garden and you hear him going over into the subdivision.
Mhm.
There's only one this year, though there are usually 2 or 3.
Mhm.
There seems to be only one so far. It is. Any other questions?
I
Go
have
ahead.
one quick question, just about, like 3 assaults. That seems higher than previously.
The assaults,
Yeah.
Yeah, the assaults were all familiar, so they're all family related. None of them are unknown assailants or unknown victims. They're all known.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'll make a motion to accept the chief's report as
Sec-
presented.
Second.
Ready for the question?
Question.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under new business, the NSAPG and their AGM is taking place in Truro this Thursday, and the spring workshop is on Friday at Inn on Prince. The workshop speakers are Charcy Michon. There's no confirmation on her topic as of yet. Josh Bates from HRM, he's the policy analyst for the HRM Police Board. And Chris McNeil is managing auditor and public safety audit. He will speak on what's taking place in the province. And after that, they're going to have a panel set up so that anybody could ask questions, so how that'll go. And like I said, they just found out at 4 o'clock they do have a quorum. So other than that, we need to have somebody that's willing to replace me on this board. It includes the AGM in the spring that you should attend. The fall conference this year is going to be in Annapolis Royal, and Digby RCMP are going to be hosting it. And it's not going to be until, I think it's the weekend after Thanksgiving. Do you know, Mark?
I do, I'll find out for a second.
I think it's the weekend after
So Digby
Thanksgiving.
Pines.
Digby Pines, yeah. I meant to look it up and I'm sorry I didn't.
Where did you say this Thursday's meeting was?
Truro.
True.
That's usually where the AGM is.
Yeah.
And one of the things on the agenda is they're going to try and set up virtual quarterly meetings with the AGM, with the board chairs, or not chairs, representatives, quarterly and by Zoom. They're also trying to set up webinars, maybe, question mark. They're also trying to set up, what was the other thing? A newsletter. Some of them I think are high hopes is one thing, because they've already voted them down at another one, but it's just somebody new that wants to put all these things in place. So we'll wait and see. I will send a report.
Okay.
This fall conference is a joint conference between the chiefs and the NSAPG.
Awesome.
That's what you need to know stuff, just let's say what it is.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the weekend after, because I think Digby Pines was booked solid for Thanksgiving. So I think that's why they went the weekend after. So who wants to do it?
Chair or vice?
And the problem is, and they say this every year, and it's always on a Thursday and
Mhm.
Friday. So like people that work,
Mhm.
you take a day off.
Mhm.
Same as the fall conference, the
Teachers usually get what they want, don't they?
question on the fall conference is, do people want to
Feeling
take
brave
time
tonight,
off
are you, bud?
to go to it, right? You're shaking your head, Mark, right? He's concentrating. No?
You don't have it.
No, like I said, I'm 99% sure that's when it is, the weekend.
Okay.
Well, For full disclosure, I'm building a house.
I know you are.
Outside
No,
of
you're
town,
not.
and once I move, I'll
can't shop
not
for
even be able to
regularly,
be on the police commission, so I'm not gonna take any
No.
positions, right?
It's a good
It just
call.
doesn't make sense for me to
Yeah.
do that, so by the fall, I'll have to resign anyway, depending on when the house is done.
Yep,
We'll see.
it's exciting, but
Expensive.
expensive.
You can't make a meeting anyways. So we're all in favor?
Of what?
Lights?
Well, she has to know if she's gonna take, if she would be willing to take time off work, right?
I can't get time off
So
work.
like,
Yeah.
I think I.
Unfortunately, unless it's
All right,
like,
Paul, you're up.
like March break or like the scheduled
even
holidays
working.
that I have off.
Yeah, and it won't.
Yeah.
Bill doesn't even carry a job, maybe he should take it.
What happens if we just don't have anybody that's willing to do it?
Well, we've already paid our dues.
But that's the problem, like, people work,
Yeah,
right?
like-
So
Yeah.
how you doing that? Like, people can't walk away from their work,
No.
and especially not being compensated. Right?
So we have at the end of the month to,
No, I have to turn it in next Thursday.
But is there any consequences? I mean, I know we paid our dues, but say we don't show up at the meeting with somebody.
You mean on this Thursday? Or
Whenever.
next year?
No, this Thursday.
Oh, I'm
this
going
Thursday.
this Thursday.
Oh, you're going this
Oh, yeah,
Thursday.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be there
And
Thursday.
then the like following ones, I
Your
think
fall
what they're
conference would
asking.
be the next thing.
Right. So
And like I said, that's all usually a Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
They're always Thursday, Friday, so that, they used to be Thursday, Friday and Saturday, but then people would leave. You've been at them, Lenny, as a board member.
That's news to me.
Right.
You're building houses.
People will,
Highly,
You're building
highly
house?
recommend
Oh, yeah.
anybody that can.
When did you become a
That's
carpenter?
on the commission,
yeah.
to go to the
You're
fall
not a man.
conference.
very-
When I was on
Yeah.
the commission, I tried to go as often, I think I probably went, all of them, when I was on the commission. They're very beneficial, they're very educational, you learn a lot, and it's, they're very worthwhile to attend,
Yeah.
no question about it.
I'd love to attend if I could attend. Yeah.
but like I say, it's, that's the only thing that people say, they
And
don't wanna
is
take
there,
vacation.
is there,
Yeah. Take my vacation with them.
like what Sean was asking, would they share information with us if we weren't there? If there wasn't somebody there to attend during those days from Westville, would they still
Well,
like
the minutes would be.
share us the minutes, the information? Like, is there any kind of consequence if
It's the
Westville's?
presentations that are most
It's the
beneficial.
information?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But there's
Rather
no,
than a business meeting. The business meeting probably is the least in
Yeah.
my mind.
And
Right.
that would be
I shouldn't
Thursday.
say this, but the
That's
other
what's coming
parts
up
of the
Thursday.
conference are always the one that you benefit the most from.
Right.
It's not the AGM, it's the sessions that go on, the information that's given out, and the speakers they have, and the presenters that they have, top notch, and always pick up something
Yeah.
Right.
that that you take away, that helps you sitting around the table, that
Mhm.
you're sitting with. Really, those conferences were one of the better conferences that I attended. In fact, over all the conferences that I do attend, from a point of view of good information.
Right.
Mhm.
And well structured.
Both the Chiefs Association and the NSAPG, they share the cost of the conference.
Mhm.
So like they together put it on, so the chiefs put in speakers and so do the suggest speakers and whatever.
Mhm.
And like this, like I said before, $400 is what it costs the town of Westville for us to belong to the NSAPG. But we certainly get more than our money back for the simple reason, like this weekend, well, Thursday and Friday coming up, they pay for my hotel, they pay my mileage, they pay my meals.
Right.
So that does not come back to the town of Westville in addition to.
Mhm.
Now, the fall conference, that does come back to the town of Westville.
But there is a budget. There is a
Yes,
budget
yeah.
for the
I was
police
just gonna-
commission
Yeah,
members
it comes out of the
attending
police
that conference.
budget. Yeah.
Right.
It's a specific amount that's in the budget
Yeah.
for a conference, for training, for commission members. So, it's not an out-of-pocket
Yeah.
thing for any individual. It's all covered by the budget of the town. The other thing I was just gonna say very quickly is, that before the fall comes, we hope we're gonna have a provincial appointee, and that person, whoever they may be able to hopefully attend, obviously.
So,
Mhm.
question, if you put someone's name down, you can change, the person can change. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, but I don't know if that's, I don't know.
Because I was just gonna say, if you need to put a name down, put my name down, but if that changes and the,
Appointee
yeah,
goes, yeah.
Was willing to do it. I don't know about that, Helen, but like I said, I certainly can put your name down.
absolutely.
right?
If you want to, like I
Um,
said, that way at least we have somebody there. By then, I may not have a job, so who knows?
In,
I may have retired. No. So,
That's the sad part about it.
Yeah.
People have to work, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say, if this newsletter goes through,
Gonna be
then
Thursday,
you
I'm
would be
sure.
up and.
That would be a good
up
thing
and-
too, right? Yeah, really, it would be a good thing.
That you would have the information that's going
Absolutely.
on.
Right.
Like, as I sit on the board, and until we got this new president that we've got, we would probably meet no more than half a dozen times through the year by Zoom, on executive, which there was no traveling. It was usually, if you couldn't say you couldn't be there at 1 o'clock, we'd do it at 7 or something like this, right? So they were very, but our new president likes meetings. She don't like her manager.
Okay.
Just a heads up. So it's
Duly
out.
noted.
What?
Duly noted.
Yeah. And it would be just at westville.ca, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because like I said, realistically, honestly, I may be retired by then, so I'm not joking when I say that.
Oh, I thought you
I'm
were
being
joking.
serious.
Well, I agree with Lena, you learn an
Yeah.
awful lot at conferences,
Mm.
how the other people are doing everything, right? And
Mhm.
take something back. Anything else? No? Okay, we don't have it in camera.
Anything from
We have delegations.
delegations?
We have, what do we call it, when we have the participation from the
Yes.
audience?
We need
Okay.
audience participation.
Yes, yes.
Before we adjourn.
Okay.
If we do have that, then I'm gonna speak on behalf of citizens. So this is a bittersweet sort of scenario that we
watch your
have this
foot.
evening. With Dorothy Lane retiring from the commission, and we're sorry to see you go, but we understand there comes a time, right?
There it is.
But I do have a certificate of appreciation that I want to present to Dorothy Lane. And if some, maybe the deputy mayor could get what's over on the table there as well, it goes with the certificate. And I just want to read the certificate for you. So it says, in recognition of 20 years of dedicated service to the Westville Board of Police Commissioners,
Give
your
me this under
service
my cigarette.
reflects the true spirit of civic duty, and your contributions have left a lasting legacy on the department and the citizens it protects. You have exemplified integrity, leadership, and an unwavering commitment to public safety and community trust. Your guidance has upheld transparency and accountability, and strengthened the bond between law enforcement and the community it serves. Presented at the town of Westville, dated this 20th day of May, 2025, signed by Chief Mark Hobart and me, Mayor Lenny White. Dorothy Lane, come up here, come up.
Makes me warm up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you work.
Make me work.
Yeah. 20 years.
20 years.
I wasn't sure how many years it was.
Next month.
That's a major
I'll probably
commitment.
12.
Wow.
What's that?
And-
Probably 12.
And not only for Westville, by the way, but Dorothy Lane, as you know, has been a representative on the board for a number of years, provincial board association, and has represented Westville extremely well, and we're proud of that. And that, you'll be missed on the problem side as well. Don't forget that. So, great
I'll
pleasure.
miss it too, because I've learned a lot.
We make all.
We have an opening if you want to come
Right?
back.
You can never escape.
Lots of people
All right,
come under
very
the
good.
army.
Very good.
All right,
Thank you.
congratulations. Oh, one other thing. Like Columbo. Just a comment on the traffic report you all received. You know, encouraged to see the numbers of stops, traffic control, And, you know, I think we need to put the message out. Public, if you're listening, if anybody's listening, speeding will not be tolerated in the town of Weston. And if you are speeding, you can expect to be stopped. And the red lights are gonna go on behind you, and you're gonna be charged, and you're warned. So, you know, I think what's happened in the last month, and I see it firsthand, the lights going on, I said this before, it's a great sight to see, it's better than Christmas lights. Because people have to realize you cannot continue to speed in this town and expect not to be stopped.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's happening, and it's going to continue, right, Chief? Absolutely. So, you know, it's the number one complaint that we get, right? And it's important, and it's a safety concern, and the police department are doing a great job of attacking that and focusing on that. The other thing is that last week was Police Week in the province, and we had a nice little display over here thanks to Ian Turner. You know, I took an opportunity to get it out on Facebook that, you know, we certainly appreciate and recognize the work that the small department that we have, what those guys do on a daily basis. And it's a great time to recognize them and thank them for their service, Chief.
We had a member down at the Wellness Center on Saturday too, for
Yes.
Police Week with the RCMP and
Right.
themselves.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. So I just wanted to say that and keep up the great work.
Thank you very much. Could we have, next meeting's June 17th, and could I have an adjournment then?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.